What's going on, people? I want to welcome all of you to the Talk to Q. My name is Quincy, and this is my show. And I'm coming to you live on Tuesday, August the 2nd, 2022. And this is episode number 1001. Now, for those of you who are new to the show, welcome. Let me explain how it works. Talk to Q is a show for adults to get together and rant about whatever the trending topic may be. Anything that fits into the society and category, society and culture category, we discuss it here uninterrupted and completely uncensored. If you have something to get off your chest, then you can do so from the interactive chat room, and your comment may be read on the air. If you want to be a guest, then hit me up on social media at Talk to Q. You can pretty much find me everywhere at Talk to Q, or you can email me at talktoqnow@gmail.com. Now, unlike most shows where you simply just listen to the host, I allow you the chance to do the talking. I'll ask questions and you have the opportunity to express your opinion or rant on a subject. I want to hear what you have to say, which is why I named the show Talk to Q instead of Listen to Q. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the show. Doing that will help expose me to more people on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and more places. So take a second to do that if you don't mind. Now, let's go ahead and kick things off.
T2Q Radio.
Hey, what up, Q? What up, Radio World?
All right. Here we go. Be sure to Google me, hashtag Talk to Q online, where you can find me. You can also support the show via Cashapp, $ Talk to Q. And now, for those of you who are watching and have a keen eye, or for those of you who are listening to the audio podcast, you may have noticed a little something different about the intro. There was no mention of radio show in my intro, nor is there any branding for it. For the first time since way back in episode 10, there's been a title change to the show. The show will simply now be known as Talk to Q. I've been holding on to the radio show title for a long time, because this show started as a radio show. But I decided it's time to move on to the future. So, welcome to Talk to Q. And what also is going to, well, it's not new to people who have been around for a while, but new to some of the more recent listeners. I'm returning to multiple topics. Instead of always focusing on one topic for the entire show, we mix it up now and then, and we'll discuss trending headlines, trending social media topics, and more. This is something I used to do back in the early years of the show and decided that I wanted to return to it. So, on tonight's show, we have three topics to discuss. We're discussing mandatory vasectomies, and if that can actually lower abortion rates, a church that charges a fee to be baptized, and if it's cool to take a nude photo in front of a historical statue. Yeah. So let me go to the T2Q virtual phone lines to see who will be joining me this evening. And I will go to the Wolverine state of Michigan and welcome back this young lady. Hey, what's going on?
Hey Q, how are you? Thank you for having
I'm
me
doing
back.
well. All right. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Amy in Arkansas, the Ruby Pearl Clamper. And let me bring on this first timer. He is in the Tar Heel state of North Carolina. Let me welcome on Joseph. Joseph, how's it going?
Going good, man. Up first, Louisiana born and bred. I just want to put that out there first.
Pelican State.
Yeah.
All right, you right next door to me, Mississippi. So. All right. And last but not least, welcome back, Miss Love Tucker in the Empire State of New York. Love, what it do?
Hello, all. Glad to be on the panel with everyone tonight. And I'm glad to be on the first episode of the Talk to Q without the radio.
There you go. There you go. All these milestones. I mean, how cool is that? All right, so we'll go ahead and jump right into it. Now, Chandra brought this up a few shows ago, a proposal for Bill 1313 that she wants to send to Congress about mandatory vasectomies. However, there was a Oklahoma state representative named Mickey Dolans who made a statement to conservative lawmakers, and this is what he said, and I quote, I would invite you to co-author a bill that I'm considering next year that would mandate each male, when they reach puberty, get a mandatory vasectomy that's only reversible when they reach the point of financial and emotional stability. End quote. That's Oklahoma State Rep, Democratic Rep Mickey Dolans in a statement to GOP lawmakers. Okay, so I mean, do
I
that with the
like
man.
it.
Let me put this up here where you all can check it out. All right, that's the guy. That's what he says he wants to do. He wants to mandate the vasectomies. Now, first of all, I don't think that he was necessarily being serious when he said it, and you have to hear the context of the video. That's why he said he was quote unquote considering the bill. He wanted to get the people's attention and compare his proposal to the overturning of Roe versus Wade. However, we don't have a shortage of people who think that mandatory vasectomies can work, including someone who's on the show this evening. And Chandra, I got to start with you on this first. Do you agree with the proposal Dollins made? Could mandatory vasectomies for males who hit puberty be an answer for lowering abortion rates?
So I would do it a little bit differently. I don't know that puberty is fair because, again, when you think about the reversal rate and then being able to get or conceive at a later age, I don't know that that would be fair. However, I do think if we are putting on the table women's responsibility and not having a choice, then we also need to do the same thing in that same vein with men. So there are men women aren't procreating by themselves. So there are men that are also responsible for that. And if they took that realm of a vasectomy, then we kind of null and void the issue.
Okay. All right, Joseph, let's get a man's opinion on this. Do you think that mandatory vasectomies can work?
Oh, no, not at all. Also, well, my first question is who determines or what determines maturity, right? How much money do you have to be financially stable? And also, man, listen, I have 2 kids, right? One on the way. The bet who I am today came because I had kids, right? So, I mean, also, man, listen, I'm pro do what you want with your body. Like, I don't, nah, man. It's too sensitive. It's also not birth, right? So it'd be different if you're like, hey, man, listen, here are some pills for men to take, right? Like birth control for women, or even like a, IUD or something like that, right? But like a vasectomy, I don't know.
It's safer than a woman having her tubes tied, or, I mean, all of these things. And the killer is, we can have ours tied and it can be reversible, but if we have it snipped and burned, and it still can sometimes grow back. And because I have an aunt that ended up getting pregnant, even though hers was cut. But again, it is less life-threatening for you to get a vasectomy than it is for a woman to get her tubes tied or her tubes cut and burned, and probably less dangerous than having an abortion. So my thing is the greater good, the lesser of evil, let's be real. And again, if I'm with you on that, I don't think maturity and money is the issue, but I think that if, we look at, you have multiple children or you have 2 children, or I would stop at 2. If you have 2 children and you aren't paying child support, then it should be automatic, mandatory, whatever. Like when you get pulled over by accident, we taking you to the hospital. We ain't taking you to the jail. We just gonna go ahead and cut the cord right now because you're not a responsible adult if you're refusing to take care of your children. That's just point blank in the discussion for me.
Well, so to go with that, then for the woman's side, if she has multiple children by different men, what happens to her?
Same thing. But again, if we took care of it on that end, because she's going to have to take care of them, most likely women are the ones that are left with the burden, if you will, of child rearing. So she's taking her responsibility. She's taking it on the chin. I'm talking about those people who aren't taking it on the chin, who aren't doing what they need to do. Then it needs to be mandatory in that realm. Now, if she's not taking care of her kids, then yeah, that's one thing. But if she got 5 kids and they all, hair combed and clothes clean and fed, how is that not taking her responsibility, regardless if it's by 5 different men or 2 men or married?
All right. Let me go to the comments here. And before I get to Love's opinion, let's see. Amy in Arkansas said that's way unfair. My man Lamar in Missouri said he's mad he wasn't included in this. And Buck from Pensacola said this could be a game changer. The only reason we are at this point is because of irresponsibility. Tammy, I'm not sure where she's located, said mandatory anything that has to do with the body is wrong. And Amy again said both sides just need to take responsibility, condoms and birth control. I don't understand why that's so hard. And Love, before I get you on, let me go back to the phone lines and get these two in the mix. So give me just a moment. Got a couple of show legends who want to chime in. From the 732 area code, the Garden State of New Jersey, please welcome on the show enforcer, the show legend, Ray. Ray, what's happening?
Hey, what's up, Q? What's up, everybody?
What's going on, Ray? And let me go back to the phones right quick. From the 850 area code, the Emerald Coastline of Pensacola, Florida, making his way to the ring, the man in black, the Buckster. What's going on, Buck? Hey, Buck, what's happening?
How's everybody doing? What's up?
Doing well. And Love, what's your take on it? I mean, do you think that it could work, and how would it even be enforced?
Well, enforcement. That's a more heated question. I don't know if I can touch that. But do I think it should be mandatory? Certainly at a certain point. I actually coerced, let's just say, the ex-husband to get a vasectomy. And then I learned way later that he wanted to have it reversed. And one, it was easier at the time for him to get a vasectomy versus me trying to get tubes tied. So just medically, women are always in a position where we could die in terms of, permanent birth control is what it would be called, permanent birth control. Whereas men, you have an outpatient procedure, sir. You get an ice pack when you leave. They don't even give you pain pills. And, women could actually die. So there is a great marked difference. The care is, much better for the men than it is the women. But, making it mandatory, how do you enforce it? That's the problem. If it's mandatory, then you have to come up with a whole system in place for it to be, managed. And a lot of guys, just like they dug child support, they're going to dug getting their vasectomies done.
Okay. And so, Ray, Buck, I know you all are kind of late to the party here, but we're discussing mandatory vasectomies, if they would work or not. There was someone in the Senate who essentially said that if you force every male child, once they hit puberty, to get a vasectomy until they show they're mature enough to be a responsible father, I guess, and then at that point it can be reversed And Buck, what's your take on that, man? You're on mute, Buck.
The only reason we've gotten to this point so far and where things need to be mandatory is because of irresponsibility by both parties. We have to, it comes down to responsibility. And, if you take responsibility for what you're doing out there, then there shouldn't be any issues. Yes, it is easier for us to get vasectomies than a woman is to get, get tubes tied and things of that nature. It's very, we all know that. But at the same time, we're living in a time right now where, they're stopping abortions and things of that nature. Government shouldn't get involved with a woman or a man when it comes to anything to do with their body. That's just my own personal opinion. Everybody has their right to their opinion, but that's the way I see it. But we as individuals, it kind of goes back to us as parents and things of that nature. We need to teach our boys and girls the responsibility of going out there, laying down with somebody. And, we don't do that. And, that's on us. But we need to teach our kids the right way of doing things and how to protect themselves and using condoms and using what's out there that's available so you don't have kids too early and things of that nature. We need to do those things. So it kind of, we gotta look in the mirror and start there first. But the system's already broken. So that's why where we are now. So, we either do it, if we would have been a little bit more responsible, things wouldn't have gotten to this point where we even talking about this in the first place.
Okay. All right. And real quick in the comments, Tammy says, percentage-wise, how likely is a woman to die while having their tubes tied? It is very small. That's Tammy in Mississippi. And someone's chiming in from my Facebook group. I'm afraid I can't see your name. Say, yep, I suggested it to my 23-year-old son. All right. And Ray, what's your 2 cents on the matter, sir?
Oh, man, I think it's just a foolish idea to begin with. I mean, when you have men and you have women, what nobody wants to discuss is a woman used to be something special, something secret. Now you got women, they trying to be on the even plane with a man, which you cannot do. Okay, you got to make a decision on who you deal with, who you let inside your body, because you are the one that's going to have to be more than likely, I don't want to say stuck with the baby, but the baby is going to be confined to you for the most part. And a lot of times people want to blame all men. They want to say men are irresponsible. The majority is a small group of men that have the majority of the kids in the United States. And I don't think that we give women a situation to where they can make their own decision. And if you don't make the right decision, not once, not twice, not three, sometimes 6 times, then we still want to turn around and blame men. How can you blame men when you got 4 kids with 4 different guys? You made 4 decisions. You didn't make one. See, remember, if you taking your butt to church, you understand you're supposed to be married before you having kids anyway. But you're going to go ahead and have a kid, and then you're going to turn around and blame the guy when we look at the guy, was he responsible? Did he have any other kids? Was he working full time? What other things did he have in his life that make you think that he was a good guy? And more often than not, those answers are incomplete. But then we want to turn around, we want to blame the guy. Okay, well, men and women mature differently. You as a woman, you got to make the decision on who you're going to talk to, who you're going to let inside your body, and who are you going to procreate with. You got to think about that even more so than a man does. Man, we can talk about vasectomies and all these guys simping and pandering to women and everything else. Okay, this is a woman's issue. We should be on the side of, okay, we should be able to have something to say about an abortion. Now, if a woman is raped or incest or something like that, then abortion should be allowed. But someone gets mad with their boyfriend and say, I don't want to have a baby because I'm trying to hurt him. Hey, you see all the cases anyway, all over TV. And then they turn around and say, well, okay, she can do what she wants. You're not the only parent. That's a selfish mentality. But this is what we're saying because we pander into what women are, what we want them to be. And it's just getting worse and it's getting worse and worse. Okay, if everybody agreed with it, then why is it not into law? Because most people think it's wrong. See, don't do what you would do. Do what, if you were standing in front of God, what would he want you to do?
All right. All right. In the chat room, D chimed in, said, I agree the government should get involved. Human rights, maybe. Let's see. Queen Cole said everyone should have a choice. And Erica chimed in from Louisiana. What the hell is pandering? And Amy says women have also used abortion as birth
Open
control.
your
More than one is
dictionary.
irresponsibility. I know too many girls who have had multiple abortions. I don't condone that. And so that's kind of where we are on this, folks. I mean, it's really no way to make a clear-cut decision on this because, like Chandra, back to you. I mean, it's like whatever you try to do for what that's considered for the greater good, in some shape, form, or fashion, is going to violate somebody. Whether it's telling women they should do this or telling men they should do that. I mean, how do we find a solution with something like that?
Well, I would agree with Ray with one thing, and that's about waiting until you're married, right? But then again, that doesn't mean that solved the problem with, which was the last episode, your 1000 episode with child support, because if you end in divorce, they still may or may not pay child support. And you were married, that was a person that you thought was the right person for you, X, Y, and Z, A, B, and C. But I think that I agree, women need to, and I've said this over and over again with the women that I've counseled, that you are the prize. And so as long as you consider that and you treat yourself in that way, and you can make it so that you don't have to give yourself up to nobody unless they put in a ring on it, and then you can do that. But I am also realistic in saying, is that likely to happen? Are people really, because then you do have all these other problems that may come as a result of that. But yeah, if we can go back to those old values, then we wouldn't have this problem. But why did we ever get away from the values that we once had?
That is a good question. So,
Was
but
the
all right,
church involved or not?
If you have any more points you want to make on that, you can save that for your final thoughts, and we'll go ahead and move on to the next discussion. And okay, so, and I'm sorry, let me get this one last comment. Tammy said, a vasectomy is considered permanent. Are we suggesting this as punishment? And no, I don't think anyone's suggesting it as necessarily a punishment, but just a way of preventive maintenance almost. When you look at it, that's what the suggestion is by the senator. But okay, so there's a young lady by the name of, I don't know if it's Tarika or Tarika, who posted this quote on her Instagram page. And it says, anybody that knows me knows I've been dressing provocative my whole life. There's a lot of assumptions that have came from me accepting my body. A lot of people question my capabilities and intelligence solely based on how I choose to dress. As I'm standing here with my master's degree at the tender age of 24, I am living proof that clothes do not define you. I encourage everybody to embrace their bodies and step outside social norms. Okay, this is what she said, and that was beneath her Instagram photo shown here. Okay, now a lot of people were upset because the photo went viral that she would take a provocative photo in front of a historical HBU statue. That is a statue that's located at Florida A&M in Tallahassee, Florida. Um, and she has, you can't really, unless you're on a big screen, you can't really see her hair. Her hair is basically snakes. The braids are designed as snakes because she is a Florida A&M Rattler graduate. And so a lot of people were upset behind this, said that she shouldn't have done this in front of the historical statue and it shamed the school, and people are getting involved as far as the school personnel and things of that nature. And I mean, what's your take on all of this? Did she go too far just to try to make a point and go viral, so to speak? Is it a big deal about nothing? And Love, I'll start with you on this. How do you feel about what this lady did?
I think she, shot herself in the foot with her supposed point. You can't say I am perceived in X, Y, and Z way by the way I dress under a picture where you are naked. That doesn't make any sense. You need to be dressed, little young lady, so that you make your point. When you're a nude, then you're just detracting from your point. So I just found it, just utter silliness. But I am an artist and I can be sensitive about my shit. So I can
Okay,
see
Erica
how,
Badu.
I can see how she thought that she might have been artistic and she might have been making a point. And, it's America. She's free to try to make her point. But I think that her point was solely missed here. It was really sourly missed.
All right. And Joseph, what's your take on it, man? How do you feel about the young lady's photo? I mean, this is someone who um, had a 3.8 GPA, graduate assistant, a mentor, joining the 2% group of Black therapists. What did she kind of reduce herself with this photo, or is this a big deal about nothing?
Nah, I do think it's a big deal about nothing. Only because, so first you said people were outraged about her doing it in front of the statue, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I do understand the pride that we have in certain structures, right? I do think that's overblown. And I do understand, her taking a picture naked, it's kind of goes to her point. And a lot of times we think that as long as we see ourselves as this thing, right, we don't really harness, or we don't really mature in our social awareness,
Mm-hmm.
right? So why it is important that you not let other people's assumptions about you affect you. It's also appropriate, right, to be aware of how you come off, and not saying that you need to change it, but just don't be reckless in it. And I think this is that.
Okay. All right. And Ray, what's your take, man?
Well, I think that looking at the photo, I think that that's not a professional way to dress. If you want to be taken seriously, you shouldn't dress like that. And you can talk about all these accomplishments and stuff all you want. But if people see your ass before they see your face, what are they thinking? See, a lot of these girls don't think about, okay, what would your father say? Because I had a daughter that age and you dress like that. Okay, what am I supposed to what am I supposed to say, or what am I supposed to think? I'm supposed to be proud of this. And you walk out there in front of your buddies and all your buddies looking at her ass and everything else, or come up to the job with her ass and stuff hanging out, whether she got shorts on or whatever. If you are dressed inappropriately, you can't be taken seriously. I know this is America. You want to dress like that, go to a nude beach. And as far as people getting mad about her standing in front of a statue, it's her and 1,000 more girls down at the school doing the same thing. Y'all been to black colleges, y'all know what's up. So they shouldn't be mad about that, because you ain't mad when they doing it. You looking. But for as far as her thinking that she can wear anything she want and people shouldn't judge her on that, That's not the society that we live in. You can't go to a job or get on the internet and people take you as you are. That's what you say. We ain't seeing no credentials. All we see is your ass. So what are we to believe? I can get up here and say, oh, I'm a doctor and I'm this and I'm that and all this too. With nothing to back it up, just a picture. But the first thing that people see is your appearance. So your appearance should always be professional when you're in a professional setting. Now, if you want to have fun on the beach or you go to Venice Beach or one of these islands or something, and you did that, okay, that's one thing. But these ladies need to get themselves together. One politician was up there twerking and standing on the head. I forget where it was at, Rhode Island or somewhere.
Yeah,
And
New
think
Hampshire, somewhere like that.
yeah, entitled to do that. Come on, quit embarrassing us with this shit. Ladies, get yourself together. Stop all this twerking and showing your ass and all this dumb shit. Michelle Obama wouldn't do that, and she's an intelligent woman. Oprah Winfrey wouldn't do that. So why are you doing it? And what guy of high value gonna marry you when you doing that? Oh, I don't care. I don't need no man. All that. Keep talking that shit till you 50. But at the same time, most guys don't respect that. Or if you find a lot of people want to sleep with you, but who wants to marry you? Nobody.
All right. And I'll get to you in just a moment, Chandra. We get these comments right quick. Tammy in Mississippi said this can be considered negative when she's trying to get jobs. There again, she might be the one that's creating jobs. We have to be careful when we are up and coming. I wonder what her parents think. And Erica in Louisiana said it's a big deal about nothing. Another woman showing off her body doesn't give or take anything away from anybody else. If it's shameful, then it's her shame to deal with. All right. And Chandra B, what say you?
They are from a different generation. So, I can have all my comments and thoughts about this, but there are people, they're just from a different generation. They do things different than what we do and what we see is respectable and all that. I look at most of the ones, these so-called artists that people listen to. These girls are, half naked or naked basically on the television and have been like that. I stopped watching videos since I was like 12 years old because of how women are represented in videos. And so for me, I can't judge that. That's the choice she makes. It can hinder her or it can help her. There's a lot of women that are billionaires. Well, I won't say billionaires, millionaires as a result of pulling stunts like this. So,
okay,
it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. When I look at it, I just say, well, to each their own, and she has to accept what comes with it because we do live in a society where people are going to judge you based on your appearance, whether you think it's fair or not, and that's just what it is. And so, I mean, there were people who were went in on this on Twitter, of course, and there were some folks on Twitter who, talking about what they saw and how can someone do this and things of that nature. I mean, there were people who supported her, and there were some people who definitely did not support her. And I don't know what my man is doing in that photo down at the bottom. That's a horrible graduation picture, if that's what that's supposed to be. And someone made a P-Valley reference, had her on the P-Valley poster. And so that's the decision she made. That's what she's rocking with. This is somebody that has, right now, had like 25,000 followers on Instagram. I'm pretty sure that might be doubled by now. So maybe that's something she can flip into a career on top of being a therapist. I don't know. But we'll see what happens. But it was definitely a surprise to a lot of people, and I don't know what's going to happen as a result of it. I mean, she's graduated, so I'm not sure what the school can do, regardless of how they feel about it. But all right, so we'll go ahead and get ready to wrap this up and get to this last topic here. We'll make it real quick. just meme of the week, so to speak. And someone sent this to me. I don't know where this church is located or the legitimacy of the photo, but I figure we discuss it anyway. This church supposedly charges $10 for people over the age of 16 who wish to be baptized. Now, I don't know exactly what the $10 is for or anything like that, but this is my first time hearing about any type of fee for baptism. So if this is something you all are familiar with, then please let me know. But for whoever would like to jump in on this, should there be a baptism fee at church? For whoever wants to respond.
Well, I would say it all depends. Now, if you have an explanation of what the $10 is for, then maybe there's a good reason for needing the $10. But if you're collecting the $10 just to collect the $10 and to keep the head count down or whatever they want to do, then that's not a very good reason because you should be wanting to baptize as many people as possible. But as a lot of things go in the church, especially nowadays, it's a lot of hustling going on. You know, all these guys, they talking slick and trying to preach, and then next thing you know, they got another woman pregnant and all this stuff, and then people listening to these guys. To me, you got to take what they do and what they say with a grain of salt and read the word and stuff for yourself and get an understanding. But I don't know unless they tell you what the $10 is for. I wouldn't really make a big deal about it unless they have no explanation.
Okay. And Amy in Arkansas said that's tacky. However, she guesses it's a tithe to the church. She doesn't know. Erica said church is a business. Okay. And Joseph, Love, Chandra, what do you all think about this? Should there be a cost for salvation?
Hey man, listen. Salvation is free. Salvation is free, man. You know. So I hate talking about this. So listen. Right.
It looked like it included the towel. I wonder if you get to keep the towel. I thought I read in there it says towel included. So it might commemorate.
It includes towel, certificate.
See, look, nope, it's a
and
whole
dinner.
event. You paying for the
Okay.
dinner. Okay.
Okay.
See, yeah, that's all good. They making an event. It's an event of your baptism.
There you go. There you go. So everyone's good with that then because they have because they are including, I guess, a whole meal and everything, and you get to keep the towel. Like she said, it might be a commemorative church towel, you know,
Wait,
Mount
they
Sinai
said,
Baptist Church towel.
did they say you can keep the towel?
It,
Or
It said
it
included.
is. It said included. So included to me means
you can drive
get
with
to
it and
keep it.
return it.
Right.
It's like a
It said
hotel.
included a
It's a
towel, a certificate, and dinner. That's a
It's a
whole lot for $10.
it's a
Where
towel
the church
rental.
located?
I don't know. I didn't see a name or anything attached to it, so I
But
would love to know.
but to the point that was in the chat, it is a business. It is a business, and it always has been. So this isn't new behavior. Just like what Ray was talking about these days of men getting another woman pregnant. That's not new behavior. That's old behavior. The difference is they just hit it better back in the 60s or the 70s or whatever. This has been going on since the dawn of man. This is not new behavior. This is continued behavior because man is flawed. Man human.
Yeah. I mean, Tammy in Mississippi said, I understand that it takes money to keep the church open, but this is almost sad. And I mean, it takes water to fill the baptism pool, and you have to pay for the gowns. I don't know what's all involved. I know there's a cost to everything. I've just never been aware of a church that charges, even if they have dinner. A lot of times the dinner is just people within the church who decide to donate a meal and cook. So I don't know where this is located and what they got going on, but anytime I see a cost associated with something, I just have to raise my eyebrow a little bit and kind of wonder. So, Love, did you want to add anything on this?
Well, I'm not a Christian or a Baptist or anything like that. I don't go to church, so I don't think I should really be speaking about what the church decides that it wants to do and charge money. Maybe, holy water is evaporating like the baby formula, and they need to need to pay more money so they can get some extra. I don't know, but
They're pivoting. COVID took a toll on everybody. Think about it.
True.
They were not going, so they are pivoting. This is a way to replenish money that was lost during the 2 years that people weren't going to church.
But they should have extra holy water then. Nobody could go to church, so they should have extra holy water just sitting around. Get baptized.
It's a pivot. It's a business pivot. They pivot.
So yeah, I mean, but I do feel better seeing that there's a dinner included and things of that nature, and the towel, whether you rent it or get to keep it. I do feel better about that. But yeah, it is true. Churches are a business, now more so than ever. And so just like any other business, they have to try to maximize overhead, so to speak. So, just one of those deals. But I grew up in a time where I don't recall having to pay anything to get baptized. So moving forward, 2022. All right. So we'll go ahead and get to our final thoughts and wrap everything up. I appreciate you all giving your 2 cents on the show this evening. And so final thoughts, you can discuss any of the 3 topics we've discussed tonight, or just one in particular. And Chandra, I'll go ahead and start with you and get your final thoughts.
I guess for me, the main thing is people have choices. And as long as you can manage whatever those consequences are of the choices that you make, then who are we to say anything? If I'm woman enough to take on whatever consequences or benefits as a result of a choice that I make, then that's mine to bear, no one else's. So, and for people to take your choice away, whether it's standing in front of a statue naked, or having a baby, or not having a baby, or a vasectomy, that's an issue for people to take choices away. So, but we all have them. Just use them wisely.
All right. Appreciate you coming on. Let the people know where they can find you real quick.
I do have a podcast. I am planning to restart it. The Chase Lounge, but you can definitely listen to the Chase Lounge. I have over 30 episodes on relationship topics, all relationship topics. So if you're interested in that, I have a series on infidelity, recovering from infidelity, as well as a series that is about the 5 F's of relationships, from foundation to funeral. So
Okay.
So, thanks.
All right. I appreciate you coming on this evening. And Joseph, you have any final thoughts on any of the topics we discussed this evening, sir?
Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, really, I agree with Chandra. Listen, live your life, but also understand that, you're not living it by yourself, right? So if you want to take pictures, that's fine. Understand that you're not in the world by yourself. Mm-hmm. And every action, every thought, everything comes with, an effect. Every cause comes with an effect, whether that's a plus or a negative, right? And, and it's really based off how you interpret it also.
Yeah.
Live your life, man. That's really it. Just live your life.
All right. Let the people know where they can find you.
Okay, so I have a podcast, Don't Limit God, on YouTube, also social media platforms, Don't Limit God. It's not Christian, it's God, right? So God has no religion. And it's really just to show that, right? We say God, love, and truth are universal, but the specifics of God, love, and truth are not. And that's really what it's about.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate it, man. I've checked out one of your videos. I have to go back and see what else you got to offer. So I checked you out on YouTube, and I appreciate you coming on, first timer. Joseph
for
up there
sure.
in North Carolina by way of the Pelican State in Louisiana. All right. Ray, what you got? Final thoughts, man.
Yeah, it was an interesting topic, but I just didn't like this old Democrat coming up with this idea. But I'll say this. I mean, everybody's saying, you live your life and all this other stuff, which is good, but at the same time, you got everybody in the world that's saying that. And people forget to put responsibility in that. If you're responsible, if you're doing the right thing or trying to do the right thing, people act as though you're not living your life. And for the young lady that took the picture, okay, you got to think, if you out in public and you want to be free and you look beautiful and everything else, okay, is this appropriate in front of small children who may be outside as well? You know, See, you can come from a standpoint, oh man, she looked fine and you looking at it and all that, but at the same time, it's a time and a place for everything. You know, it's just like if a woman walked by and something and I'm at work, I'm not gonna turn my head and look. It's a camera on every corner. Okay, for what reason? Just to have a satisfactory thrill of looking real quick? No, I'm in the wrong place for that. So I would like to say that with the abortion thing, I mean not the abortion, but with the
Vasectomies.
the vasectomy, I don't think that it should be a mandatory thing for guys to have a vasectomy because women run the world. I mean, guys, we make the world decisions that runs the world. But women, as far as if you wouldn't let a guy date you or bed you or whatever, if he didn't get an education, if he wasn't gainfully employed or doing something responsible and wasn't committing crimes and all this and that, guys will straighten up and do what they have to do. But instead, this is what's most popular. So what's popular is what makes guys go out and do the wrong thing. And then when they end up with a guy that's in jail, that gets killed, doesn't take care of his baby, then they want to blame other guys. They want to blame men and this and that, and start dating each other instead of finding them somebody of quality. But who are we gonna blame that on? Every generation we steady saying the same thing. That's why we standing still. Yeah, we'll throw a good party, we eat good food and listen to good music, but you can't dance your problems away. You can't drink them away. You just have to be responsible, especially those that are raising kids. Be responsible. Because the young kids out here, they killing each other and everything else. And we turn around, we blame the police, we blame white folks, we blame everybody else. But we not sticking to what the issues are. And that's being responsible and doing the right thing ourselves.
Okay. All right. I appreciate your 2 cents, Ray. And Amy says both male and female have got to start taking responsibility and not having unwanted kids. I'm in the true crime community and people are killing their kids daily. I'm afraid the overturning of Roe versus Roe will make it worse. All right. I hadn't thought about that. For people who get desperate, what they may do. You hadn't thought about that, Amy. And love, shut it down for us this evening, please.
First, I'd like to say thanks for asking me to come on. I was a pitch hitter, but I was able to come and make it through. I think with all three topics, it really comes down to choice. And quick plug for my book, 2024. It really encompasses all of the topics, how you represent yourself, and how you are perceived in life and what you would like to project, reproductive rights, and how people allow the church to move their lives. So it's available at Amazon.com. Black cover, looks like that. Says
Cool cover.
2024. Thank you. And you can find me on Instagram at love.the, that's two E's, look, and also 2024.the with two E's, the novel. So again, thanks a lot, Ray. Q. I'm thinking about Ray and his antics. And congratulations again on over 1,000 shows. Q.
Thank you very much. I truly appreciate it. And yeah, your book is hitting on a lot of things that appear to be going on. I wish you had that
Isn't it
had the
scary?
Mega Million numbers in that book. That you
Isn't it
seem to be
scary?
predicting some things. Yeah. So, but all right, that's going to do it for tonight's Talk to Q. The show will be back live on the air on Tuesday, August the 16th at 7:30 p.m. Central Time for the season 12 finale. Don't have my topics yet, but whatever's trending at the time is what we'll discuss. I want to thank all of you for watching on YouTube, listening on Apple Podcasts, or wherever you consume the show. So please be sure to Google Talk to Q, hashtag Talk to Q, for more information and share the podcast. You have no idea how much it means to me to see that someone has shared my show. It truly means a lot to me. And it does a lot to help the show grow. So thank you so much. And we'll see you next time. You've been checking out Talk to Q. Peace out. All right.